We are going to review for the test you will have tomorrow, Friday. This is going to be the test on Unit 5, what we've covered, 5.1 through 5.4. And we will be looking at number 1 that comes from 5.1. And this one is reducing that to simplest form. You have to know the rules of exponents. Now, first of all, it is a division problem, so we are going to have to somehow divide 3 divided by 9, which reduces to 1/3. And then we have x to the 4th on top. Do we have an x on the bottom? No. So that would stay up on top. And then when we deal with the actual y to the 3rd minus a -3, remember you are subtracting your exponents. So it is 3 minus a -3. We actually end up adding them. So that becomes a 6, y to the 6. Now here you don't have to move anything because you don't have any negative exponents. Just rewriting the answer a little bit prettier. This would be your final answer. You don't have to put the 1. So there it is. This is what we did in 5.2, which is yesterday. Looking at the first one, because it is a little line that goes up and down, that one right there has to be an odd. Please keep that in mind. If it looks like a W, it would have to be even, because it ends up staying on the top. So then that would make it a positive. Now this one again, it is a squiggly line that goes up and down. That one right there would also be odd, but because it finishes in the bottom, we would consider that a negative leading coefficient. Now please keep in mind, this is your degree, but this here is your leading coefficient. Leading coefficient would be just the number up in the front. Now this next one makes some kind of W. When you have that W, please keep in mind that would be an degree that is even, because it opens up, it would be with a positive leading coefficient. So the question on your test, they're going to give you a graph and they're going to ask you, what would it do? Would it be odd, even, positive, negative? That's what you're going to have to determine. This next question deals with finding the volume. Now you did volume in geometry. The formula is given to you. They give you 3 sides to that rectangular prism. So all you really have to do is just set it up. 3x plus 1 times x plus 2. And then at the very end, multiply everything by x. Does it really matter which order you do it in? Not really. But I would do the FOIL first. So we do 3x times x, which is 3x squared. 3x times 2, which is 6x. And then you do 1 times x, which is x, and 1 times 2, which is 2. Now here, we got that. Don't forget you still have an x outside. Now keep in mind, these two middle terms, you should be able to combine them. Now, that becomes 7x plus 2. Please remember, this x has 1. That 6 plus 1 gives you that 7. We still have that x. You could either write it in the back or in the front. Basically, what you will do, you will distribute it. So we have x times 3x squared, 3x to the 3rd. X times 7x, 7x squared. X times 2, it would be 2x. So the volume of that rectangular prism would be written as 3x cubed plus 2x squared plus 2x. Now this next problem is based on 5.2 also. Just by looking at it, first you need to look and determine if it's a polynomial function. 6x, 8x to the 4th, and a -3. Now, since they're all good numbers, your exponents are good, yes, it is a polynomial function. You have to write it in standard form, and there it is. F of x equals, we put the biggest coefficient first, then the other one, and there we go. Because it is a degree of 4, we call this a quartic, and it is a leading coefficient of 8. Now moving on to B. That one, we only have two things, pi x to the fourth and the square root of 6. Once again, it's already in standard notation, and it is, once again, a degree of 4. It is called quartic and a leading coefficient of pi. Now, once again, we did not rewrite it because it's already in standard notation. Now, moving on to the next one. Now, what would that be right there? Wait, this is okay, but what about this? Can you have a negative exponent? The answer is not a polynomial function. Now this here comes from section 5.3, which is just combining like terms. There is a subtraction sign. Please keep in mind that changes all of this. So this here would stay the same. But the second paragraph, that positive 4x squared becomes a negative 4x squared. That negative becomes a positive 8x. And that negative 5y squared becomes a positive. Now from here, we should be able to combine this that has an x squared and this, that with that, and this with this. Now keep in mind the signs that they had. So 2 minus 4 would be a negative 2x squared. That negative 3xy plus the 8xy becomes a positive 5xy. And then 9 plus 5 would become a 14y squared. This is just combining like terms. That's it.